Hello, everybody. This is episode 18 of season 2 of the Weekly Gridiron.
Yes, sir.
Dante with the hand motions.
Damn right. Let's go.
As always, we're your hosts, Adam
Dante.
And Luke,
and Dante. Who's our special guest for today?
Gino, but he went upstairs.
Ah,
Guess he's camera shy. My dog Gino, he went upstairs.
that's okay.
Whatever.
He doesn't want to admit that Patrick Peterson's depoy, like he said before we started.
He's afraid of
yeah,
our bad takes.
yeah, he's afraid to make that take on camera.
Yeah. He's a free thinker.
You gotta respect it.
Oh, of course.
All right, well, boys, we have made it. It is week 18. Just flew by.
Unreal.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a fun week though, because there is still so much on the line.
there's a ton on the line. The I did see. Luckily, the Patriots are locked into a top five pick, win or lose.
Nice.
But of
And
course, we're playing the Jets, and Lord knows we're gonna beat them, especially if this is Bill Belichick's last game with us. And if we do, we drop him 3-5. And
would
so,
you would you rather lose and get a better pick or just beat the Jets just because they're the Jets?
I'm going back and forth so much.
Yeah.
If Zach Wilson starts, we can beat the Jets. That's fine.
Yeah.
If Trevor Siemian starts, and I don't really care, I'm going back and forth. It's it's very important that we get a high draft pick, and I don't think we're trading down at all, or up, I suppose. So I suppose it's crazy that I'd rather we lose, but I don't know. It's very important that we get a high draft pick.
Well, here's another thing, Luke, I thought about. I was talking to Dad about this one day. You weren't around. Well, the Patriots have beaten the Jets, what, 15 times in a row? Something like
Something
that?
ridiculous like that.
Well, think about it. Even if you guys beat them this year, the odds of the streak extending far into next year, I don't know how high they are because Aaron Rodgers is going to be back. So they might just beat you with Rodgers next year. So it's all about whether you wait a year and Rodgers beats the Pats or you just lose now and get it out of the way. I mean, either one. But you also don't want to start a losing streak against the Jets. That's the other thing.
I don't know if way back earlier this year, before even week one, I was prepared to pick the Patriots against the Jets whenever it came up on the schedule, no matter how bad we were, just because that's the kind of thing that it just happens. It's like the Steelers beating the Browns or the Ravens and things. And actually, it's like the Steelers beating anybody in their division. But
It'd also be like a
like
landing.
the Panthers and Falcons splitting. It just happens.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers doesn't scare me enough to where I'm like, okay, we're going to lose. Now let me just lose this week instead. So that's a good point, but it's not really factoring into that decision for me.
I don't
I mean,
think
yeah, well, we've said division games are so up in the air that
Yeah.
Always.
tough no matter what. Speaking of that, I mean, do we want to just jump right into the Patriots real quick, Luke? Do you
Yeah,
have
what
any?
were you gonna say, Dante?
I said I don't think the Jets can do anything um like I don't think they could do anything like extraordinary to make them unbeatable in that division. Like they're not going to go out
No.
and get someone insane, and Aaron Rodgers isn't going to make them the obvious number one in that division. Whenever the Bills, the Dolphins, and the rebuilding Patriots are still in there, you know.
No, half the hype that was there when they got Aaron Rodgers is gone because if this team truly was just Aaron Rodgers away, they would have at least had a winning record, but they far from that. They're gonna end up being like 6-11 or 7-10 or whatever they are. And I'm sorry, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. That a team that has that kind of a record and that kind of performance with that kind of a coach is not a 41-year-old coming off a torn Achilles QB away from a Super Bowl like they thought they were.
I agree.
So
That's
that
true.
yeah, just going back to the original question, would I rather beat the Jets? Would I rather stay in the top three? In the long run, I'd probably rather get as high of a pick as possible. Especially if Zach Wilson doesn't start. Also because the more time that goes on, the more and more I'm leaning towards I think we're gonna bring Bill Belichick back. So I'd
happen.
who want to beat the Jets, of course, because we always want to beat the Jets. But I'm not so sure that he's doomed like I thought he was earlier this season. So maybe it won't be like, okay, this is my last game. Let me go kick some ass. Maybe it won't be quite like that. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll try to get myself in a headspace to be happy with whatever happens because it is the Jets. If we beat the Jets, we beat the Jets, and that's fun. But a top three pick is so important this year. We'll see. Maybe somebody I want will fall.
Especially this year, is it important?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mhm.
True, true. Well, hey, the number one pick wasn't important to somebody, apparently.
That's the other thing is that the Bears could trade out, but that really doesn't have a ton of effect on the Patriots because if they do, then whoever is going to be there is taking a quarterback anyways. So it
Yeah,
doesn't help you with somebody falling.
that's going to be a big question this offseason. Do the Bears keep Fields and draft a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. first, or do they trade Justin Fields and take Caleb Williams or Drake May, or do they even trade the pick, trade down again and have like another cycle of another team's first round pick next year? We'll see. Anything can really happen with that team.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. So
Well, I think a lot of it rides on what happens this week. If he goes out there and puts
yeah,
up 30 plus points, 300 passing yards on the Packers, it's going to be hard to ship him away this offseason.
fans already love him. So
That is true too.
yeah. Well, do you want me? I'll just read the fantasy leaders real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Top defenses this week. Texans were the top. Then you had the Bills, then the Jaguars, then the Giants, then the Browns, and tied at the honorable mention spot, we had the Saints and Packers. And then our top players going from 16 to 1, aka honorable mention to 1, Devin A. Chain, Najee Harris at 15. There you go, Dante. Brandon Ayuk, Justin Fields, Travis Etienne Jr., Jerome Ford, James Conner, Jaden Reed, Brees Hall, Jordan Love, Isaiah Pacheco, Kyren Williams, DJ Moore, and our top three: Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, and CD Lamb. So there we go.
Nice.
Yes.
I think at this point, Lamar probably has MVP locked up. I don't know what you guys think, especially because CMC isn't playing this week either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the odds for him to win on DraftKings, me and my buddy were talking about it last night. I think it's like plus 20,000. So like you could bet like $100 and win like $4 if you're right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
it's not even worth your time betting at that point.
Whoever wins is going to be a weak year for MVP. I mean, Lamar's season this year is destroyed by Lamar's other MVP season. And
Take me back to when there were five quarterbacks throwing for 40 plus touchdowns, you know?
no kidding, yeah. Lamar, I mean, 29 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had a great season, but that's going to win MVP. Goes back to something I think I mentioned before, what Tom Brady said, and he was right. There's just more mediocrity today than there used to be.
Yeah. Very true.
There were a lot of backups playing this year. I mean, a lot, probably more than ever. So that definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a weird year. Like, is anyone really deserving of MVP? No. Does someone have to win MVP? Yes. So, in my opinion, Lamar, consider Christian McCaffrey, maybe one of those two, but it's probably going to be Lamar, if I had to guess.
I think it should be Lamar. If we're looking at best player and most impactful to the team, because that's what the award is,
That's true.
you go with Lamar Jackson.
I mean, winning is not really a quarterback stat, it's more of a team stat, but I mean, Lamar does have his team is the best team in the NFL right now. So I don't really think that could be ignored, completely ignored.
I agree. Totally.
And whoever else you're going to give it to, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, they've all had rough stretches this season. Lamar really hasn't.
I really don't understand the Josh Allen hype because he was very mediocre for the majority of the year. In the last like 3 or 4 weeks, he's been good. I wouldn't say MVP tier. I mean, he's thrown some touchdowns, but he also has the same interception problem that he's had all season. And then I guess it's the same thing for Lamar too. I guess consistency, I guess it'd be Dak, I guess.
It's hard, but then Dak had quite a few, at least one or two, really bad games.
Yeah, but then Purdy, I don't know how you take it away from Purdy after he has one bad game.
I mean,
Then Lamar had an outstanding game. Again,
yeah, that's why I guess, I mean, all it takes is one game, especially when it's against a guy you're running against.
it's true. Then Lamar
Lamar,
pads it back.
29 total touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
only 3,700 yards, but
yeah.
not a ton of people had a ton of yards this year, like you were saying. So
Yeah, I just think offenses are much more complex now where, you have like the end arounds, the jet sweeps, and guys that are non-quarterbacks thrown from the backfield. It's not like the 2011 Drew Brees where he just dropped back and just slinged it 60 yards, or threw it
yeah,
50 times in a game. Like it's not that anymore. And the
yeah,
quarterback
that's a good
won't
point.
anymore. So, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Well, Dante, do you want to get into any thoughts about the Steelers before we make our picks this week, or should I
well,
say
I
anything about the Panthers? God,
I'll say a few words about the Steelers.
go for it.
Um, oh my gosh. First of all, shout out to the offensive line. What a performance they put up.
They did,
The
yes.
offensive line built up from guys like um, Dan Moore, Mason Cole, Chikwumo Okorafor. Actually, he didn't even play. What am I talking about? Broderick Jones, who's a beast. James Daniels. Like these guys aren't like superstars, but they were moving people yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, last week. Najee Harris, 27 for 122 and 2 touchdowns. That's the best he's ever looked. Then, not to mention Jalen Warren just having an absolute game too. But the guy I want to talk about, and I think you guys know, Mason Rudolph, another great performance. 18 for 24, 274. No touchdowns, but he put us in the best position. Steelers dropped 30 points. Shout out to George Pickens. Put his head down last 2 weeks and just absolutely balled out. This is the guy I wanted like the whole season. And he's playing like an absolute stud right now. So yeah, Steelers win 30-23 on the road in Seattle. It's a tough place to play. Just got to tighten up on defense a little bit. And I think we have a pretty bright future in Pittsburgh.
I was talking to somebody else. I would not want to face you guys in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Miami, even Kansas City. It sounds silly, but if they're not careful, I mean, those are teams that are supposed to be good, but they haven't been playing up to their standards. That
yeah.
word. And the Steelers, uh, they're okay on paper. They're not supposed to be there, but they have the culture. It's clear now. I mean, people were calling for Mike Tomlin's head at the time, deservingly so, I
Yeah.
suppose.
I
But there's no better coach when his winning streak record is being threatened. So if they can just go at a team like they have been the past couple weeks, again, I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs.
I saw a stat. I think within the past like 3 years, we are 5-1 in weeks 17 and 18.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Third. But yeah, he just has fuel to the fire late in the year and gets us over the line somehow, or at least in a position to get over the line. Yeah, I think the people that want Tomlin gone are they overreact. But if you're a Pittsburgh fan, every time we lose, it's fire Tomlin. Every time we lose, no matter if our quarterback throws 4 picks or we lose by a game-winning field goal, it's fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin.
It
But
was a lot of pent up frustration. And
I
like I
get,
said, some of it was deserved after losing back to back weeks to two win teams.
yeah,
But, he took those punches on the chin. He put them in a position to win when they needed to.
you know who the common denominator was for those 3 losses in a row? Mitch Trubisky. As soon as you put Rudolph in, we score
Yeah.
30.
Yeah,
We
that's true.
we lead 24-0 against a good Bengal team at halftime. I'm just saying,
Yep.
I think Mitch was the problem. But
Yeah, the Steelers haven't looked better.
yeah. Anyway, Adam, you could talk about the Panthers if you'd like, but you don't have to.
I'll say some words. Yeah, we were wrong, very wrong. again, clean sweeping them, but that's okay. 26-0 loss to Jacksonville, and not even Trevor Lawrence, CJ Beathard. That if this season hasn't already like reached a complete low, that might be it. Yeah, it was just terrible. Bryce Young threw a tablet twice. Speaking of throwing, our owner, who
Oh,
the Panthers fans,
Oh
including
man,
myself, completely despise, threw a drink at a Jaguars fan and got fined $300,000, which
what a joke.
unfortunately is only worth 1% of his total worth of like 20 billion. But yeah, I don't know. All I wanted the last few weeks to see some progression. We had seen some this week, just I guess back down to earth. I don't even know. But it had been, I forget how many straight games, like 200 something straight games since we had been shut out. It was like fourth in the NFL. It had been a while since we've been shut out. I don't remember when the last time was. It might have even been when Cam Newton was here. It probably was. But yeah, that was bad. We have one more game. It's at home. We host Tampa Bay, and then it's over. Then it's over for the year. So I get to kick back and enjoy the playoffs for like the, let me think, sixth straight year. We won't be in it, but that's all right. I get to kick back and enjoy it. Hopefully the Steelers are in it, so someone else I like besides the 49ers are playing in the playoffs. So yeah, I don't have anything else. That's about it. Just an overall embarrassing game. I didn't watch it, and I'm glad I didn't watch it. So
yeah.
You
yeah.
guys in Denver, it was like once you made that Super Bowl, like enjoy it because neither of you are going back for a very, very long time.
Well, we went once, like 2017, we went. We won 11 games and went to the wild card against the Saints and lost a very, actually a close game. I remember watching that. And then the Saints the week after the Minneapolis Miracle happened. So
Mhm.
that could have been against us, I guess. Or I don't know, maybe we would have played Nick Foles and the Eagles. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Want to get into our picks? Want to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, of course. Week
Okay.
18, like I said, last week of the regular season. Crazy.
Okay. So before we make our picks, I have three tabs open of the ESPN NFL playoff machine where you could put in your picks and it'll
Oh,
give you the playoff scenario.
oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
I have three open, so I'm going to keep track of all of ours and I'll let you guys know what playoffs you have after.
Okay.
Go
So,
for it. Go for
That
it.
that sounds great.
so
All right.
I
Okay.
will just start by saying I'm going to put it out of my head so I don't purposely pick this way. But man, what I wouldn't do for the Bills to lose, the Steelers to win, and I believe it's the Jaguars to win, and the Bills miss the playoffs.
that it's likely.
It absolutely could happen.
It very well could happen.
Now the Jaguar or not the Jaguars, the Dolphins are kind of like, you know, torn in half right now. Everybody's on the injury report, so I'm not very confident about that first thing. But all I've been hearing for the past multiple weeks is how even though the Bills aren't even in the playoff spot, they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs, and I've gotten sick of that already. So what I wouldn't do for that to happen.
I could I could really see Miami winning this game. And obviously I'm going to root for them because for the Steelers' sake. But going down to Miami's tough. And Josh Allen, though the Bills won, he didn't look great last week, against who they even play? Who'd the
Uh,
Bills play last week?
the
Uh,
Bills, you saying?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they played you guys. They played the
Yeah.
Patriots. And
Man, it must really suck because I've put it out my mind. I put it out of my mind so much that I don't remember anything about it. But
you guys lost 27-21, so it was a pretty good game.
I think
But
Zappy had
oh,
like
that's right. Oh my gosh, yeah. Bailey started the game over 3 with 2 picks and a fumble, and then after that it was like a perfectly competitive game. But yeah, okay, I remember it now.
yeah, Josh Allen was 50% on his passes, 169 with one pick, no touchdowns.
and
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
Miami got destroyed by the Ravens.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, the Ravens are just
But
running through whoever they want to run through
I
right
thought
now.
that game would have been a lot better than it was, but who knows?
yeah, honestly. But I was kind of glad Baltimore won so that like Lamar doesn't play tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it's very
All
nice.
right. Well, we can start. We can make our picks. Dante, I feel like I've only said this twice this year because they've been on Thursday Night Football, I think twice, but now they're the first game on Saturday. So Dante, start us off.
Yeah, Steelers going down to M&T Bank Stadium to play the Ravens. And man, I am excited but nervous because the whole story is, oh, Ravens are resting their starters. Steelers are hot. The Steelers have to win this game. And they have to win this game to even like have a true shot to go to the playoffs. Though we could lose and get in, but it's far-fetched. But Steelers need to win this game. And that man, am I nervous because it's still the Ravens, it's still the Steelers. The Ravens are physical, Steelers are physical. I am gonna pick the Steelers. I think we'll come out on top. Um, it's gonna be close though. I just think our defense needs to lock up. And if we could run the ball like we've been doing these past 2 weeks and just open up like the play action for Mason, I think our offense could put up some points. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pick the Steelers, though I am nervous.
Luke, you want me to go or you want to go?
I was gonna say I can go next because I'll just mention something. Speaking of running, speaking of these two teams, something barely worth mentioning, I suppose is worth mentioning. The Ravens picking up Dalvin Cook.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
That was smart by them. He's quite obviously past his prime, but it's just another body to put out there because well, the Ravens, one thing they can never do is stay healthy. And this is more than they've stayed healthy at all down this stretch of the season, but they lost J.K. Dobbins and whoever else earlier this year, so this does help them. Like I said, I can go next though. Not enough. I think the Steelers are going to win this game. Um, Obviously they have a little more. They have a little more to play for. Tower Huntley is not a good quarterback, and we haven't seen him in a year. So I, the Ravens are going to make this a competitive game just off the fact that it's a divisional game. There's a lot of bad blood, and so they're not going to just lay down and die. But I don't think it's going to be enough against a really really hungry, motivated Steelers team because now it's make the playoffs or what did you just win those past two games for? So I definitely think Mike Tomlin is going to have them ready to play.
agreed.
Okay. I want to start by saying the M&T Bank Stadium is the second best bank in America, behind Citizens Bank Park. I did want to say that. Luke, you picked the Steelers, right?
I did, yeah.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, I'm gonna clean sweep. I'm gonna pick the Steelers as well. My main thought that goes into this is, like Luke said, they're hungry for a win. They kind of, I mean, they don't have to win to get in, but to have the best shot possible, they kind of have to win. And to me, you've seen in these last 2 weeks, these last two games against the Bengals and against the Seahawks, Mason Rudolph has been phenomenal, but Mike Tomlin knows how to lock in and get the job done when it comes to must-win games. And this is another must-win game. Even though the Ravens are resting half their starters and Tyler Huntley's the starting quarterback, Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley, by the way. um, it still is a must-win game for the Steelers, and it still is the Baltimore Ravens they're playing. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be physical, but I think in the end, Mike Tomlin, he knows how to beat this team. He's done it before. He'll be able to do it again and put the Steelers in the best position possible going into Sunday. So go Steelers for sure. All right. Next up, our second Saturday game. Dante, by the way, did you update the playoff thing on our
I did,
computer?
yes, I did.
Got it. We have the Texans and the Colts at 8:15 Saturday night. As far as I believe, this is a win-in game for both teams. The winner of this game will make the playoffs, I believe, from what I've heard. And this is in Indianapolis, I think. This will be a very interesting game.
For sure.
Gardner Minshew could possibly be a playoff quarterback or rookie CJ Stroud leading that team. I will start. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans to get a road win and get their team to the playoffs in year one under DeMeco Ryans. Now, he probably won't win Coach of the Year because you've got Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland who's done that job with like 4 starting quarterbacks, but I think DeMeco Ryans should get some real consideration. even Shane Steichen, even if the Colts don't make the playoffs, he should get some real consideration as well. But I'm gonna pick Houston, but I think it's gonna be a close game.
Cool. I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think playing the Colts at home is very tough. And I don't know. I feel like the Colts are a more experienced team than the Texans are, playoff wise. And well, not I guess this isn't even a playoff game, but just I don't know, at home, I think I'm just more confident in the Colts. I think they look better um this late stretch of the year than the Texans have. So I'll go with the Colts.
Well, the atmosphere is going to make it look like a playoff game.
True. Yeah.
And it practically is because, like he said, winning in and you lose and you're out. So, this is a very, very tough game to pick. Um, the first thing that comes to mind is the Texans because they have a better quarterback, but it's obviously not that simple. Last week I put my faith in the Colts, and they rewarded me. I'm now tied with Dante for the lead in this year's picking record, and this is the tough one. I'm a tiebreaker here. Two good rookie coaches, two good quarterbacks. CJ Stroud just coming back off injury. Um, they've been hit hard some games late in this year. The Colts, whereas the Texans were, whereas the Colts started this year a little bit shakier, and they've been great since. In Indianapolis, I'm stalling. I'm stalling. I'm stalling.
It's a tough pick, I
This
guess.
is this is tough, but I'm gonna say the Texans.
Okay.
Um, I just trust them a little bit more. It feels more obvious to me. Like they're it just feels like they're the better team. And I started off this year saying, "Hey guys, I think I'm higher on the Texans than most people," but I didn't think that they were going to make the playoffs. Um, although I certainly didn't think the Colts were going to make the playoffs. So it is kind of a nice full circle moment for me to be picking the Texans and giving them their ticket to the postseason.
All right, we'll see who's right. And Dante, I was gonna rebound off one fact you said that it's tough playing in Indianapolis. We saw that with Pittsburgh this year. I hate to bring that game up, but
That's why I said that because I saw it was so like that crowd was unreal. Like that was great atmosphere. And I'm
really is.
I'm happy the Colts have a good fan base like that.
Yeah. All right, going into our Sunday games. First one, we have the Jaguars at the Titans. For the Jaguars, this is a win and in scenario. With a win, they are AFC South champions. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars, regardless of who plays the quarterback. I just feel like, man, I don't know what to think about this Titans team. This could be Derrick Henry's last game. We are aware of that because I think he's a free agent this offseason. But I mean, the Jaguars, like we've said, the Steelers, like the previous two teams we talked about, Texans and Colts, they're hungry for a win to get in the playoffs. They need it. Maybe more than anybody right now because their division is just so up in the air to where if the Texans lose, they they, they may be out of it all, like period. Going from possibly winning the division to missing the playoffs entirely. So it is a huge game for them, and I think Doug Peterson's going to lock in and get the job done, whether that is with CJ Beathard or with Trevor Lawrence. We still don't know who it's going to be. I know Trevor practiced yesterday, but he's limited, so I'm still going to go Jacksonville. I think my gut's telling me that they need to win more, and they're going to work hard and get that win. So that's who I'm going to go with.
Cool. Want me to go next?
Is you can go next. I just want to ask: is Will Levis playing?
Uh oh, I don't know.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
It could be Tannehill. I really
It
don't
is
know.
Tannehill. It is Tannehill.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes my pick a little easier.
That
Actually,
made my pick even easier too, I think.
actually, 3 hours ago, Titans quarterback Will Levis returned to practice on Thursday. So
Hmm.
it's up in the air.
Hmm.
So I guess you're still in the same place.
Yeah, kind of.
I know who I'm going.
Yeah, you said you wanted to go next, Dante.
Yeah. I'm going Tennessee.
Hmm.
Tennessee
Okay.
at home, Vrabel is pissed. And even if Trevor Lawrence returns, he's going to be still a little bit banged up. So Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan, potentially. I think the Titans are going to do it. And we all remember what happened last time. The Steelers needed the Jags to lose to be able to get into the playoffs. They lost. No, the Jags won. What am I talking about? They beat the Colts. Shit. My bad. But
Right. Well,
You're
my fact.
good.
But yeah, give me the Titans.
I think I'm gonna go with the Titans too. I'm banking on the fact that Will Levis is gonna play. If I've heard that Will Levis was out, I would be picking the Jaguars. But it's just as much uncertainty over there surrounding Trevor Lawrence as it is anybody. So, I think the Jaguars, I kept saying all year, we're just waiting for them to hit their stride. And then they did blow out the Titans. But like you said, Dante, that's just gonna anger them and an opportunity to keep their division rival out of the playoffs. We saw what the Lions did last year, Week 18 against the Packers, kept them out of the playoffs. It's a real thing, and I think the Titans are going to be able to pull it off.
Okay, you're going Tennessee too, Luke. All right. All right. I don't feel good about that Jacksonville pick, but I'm gonna stick with it. I mean,
You'll probably be right, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna stick with it because I feel like I may need the wins against you guys. I didn't check our record. I know for a fact. Oh wait, no, I think I'm 156 and 100, and you guys are, I guess it's 157 and 99 because you're both one game ahead of me. So it is close.
Damn.
Anything can happen
This
this
is
week.
close as hell. Wow.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, I can even count playoff wins if we want to extend it, but we'll see. All right. Moving on to the next game. We have the Vikings and the Lions. Nothing really matters in this game. I mean, maybe seeding wise for Detroit, they're trying to get the 2 seed, but they've already won the division, so they're already locked into that. The Vikings, I guess, are trying to stay alive in the playoff picture, although it's not looking good. Um, to me, this isn't hard. Detroit, they're at home. That makes it even easier. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Detroit too.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy one. Next game, we have the Falcons and the Saints. Now, this game could be interesting because we will get to the Buccaneers and the Panthers in a minute, but if Tampa loses that game, then say the Panthers win on Sunday, then Falcons versus Saints is a win and in game for the division if Tampa loses. So keep in mind here, depending on, well, I'm sure we're all going to pick Tampa Bay, but if Tampa Bay loses, you could be picking an NFC South champion in this game. Just keep that in mind. But I'll start. I'm going to go with the Saints. I think they are a little better established right now. They use their star players unlike another team in this game. They are at home, which I think helps their case. I do trust Derek Carr a little more than, not even a little more, a lot more than Desmond Ritter or Taylor Heineke. Neither coach is great, but somebody has to win. I think it'll be New Orleans. I think their defense will get the job done, hold Atlanta, and their offense will get some touchdowns to get them to win.
Yeah, I'll take the Saints too. I think they're just a better team overall.
I agree.
I'm actually going to pick the Falcons. I'll defer. You know,
Okay.
I don't have a ton of reasoning for this, although I've always just thought that they had a higher ceiling than the Saints. So if they mess around to make the playoffs, that could be music to your ears, Adam. Maybe the ownership will decide, good enough. Arthur Smith, you can stay. Here's your extra 5 years. But really,
5 years, please. Yes.
I do just think that they have a higher ceiling than the Saints, and I don't really trust either of those quarterbacks to play for a playoff spot. And I don't think we're going to be even talking about this because I think the Buccaneers are going to get in. But still, I think that the Falcons are better equipped. They have more talent on both sides of the ball to win a game like this. Even if they have an idiot at the helm, I still think that they'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, it could matter if someone wins the division. Then again, I mean, we're all just gonna pick Tampa, and I think Tampa's gonna win anyway, so it probably won't matter. But we'll see. All right. Patriots and Jets. Luke, do you want to give any thoughts before we make a pick here?
I've already talked about it. I'm going to be picking based off of who's going to win this game, not who I want to win this game.
Okay. Well, why don't you start then? Who is that?
Yeah, we are. It's the Jets. It could be Bill Belichick's last game. We're going to win this game, and I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that. Like I said, we're locked into a top 5 pick. The worst that can happen isn't that bad of a thing, and so I think that it's fine. It's a nice compromise to the people who wanted to tank and the people who wanted to win out, so that we don't fall to 8 or something ridiculous. But we still won some games down the stretch. I just wish we didn't beat, honestly, the Steelers or the Broncos, so that we didn't have to worry about this.
I agree.
Especially the Broncos, because I didn't even watch that game. But
He agrees on the Steelers part of that.
Yeah, I agree, Luke.
yeah,
You're picking the Pats?
I'm picking the Pats.
Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, Luke is as much.
I'll just mention. I'm sorry. Sorry to cue off. I'll just mention one thing. The one thing the Jets have going for them right now is Brees Hall is playing like a monster, but the Patriots are one of the best run defensive teams in the league. The defense has been great. It continues to be great. Um, as long as Bailey doesn't make too many mistakes, especially in the late stretch of the game, we should be able to win.
Adam?
Yeah, Luke, I am going to say that, as much as deep down you probably want to win or lose for that better draft pick, I feel like this is the type of game Bill Belichick and the Pats get a win. And even if you do, you still have a top 5 pick. I mean, if you want Jaden Daniels, you can get Jaden Daniels with that pick for sure. You could even trade up a few spots. If say you trade up to 3, that way you guarantee yourself one of Marvin Harrison Jr. or Drake May or Caleb Williams. I don't think you have to give up an extra first round pick to move up from 5 to 3. You shouldn't. Maybe an extra second round pick, but that should be it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots in this game. Like we said, we don't know what's happening with Bill Belichick, but there is a chance it could be his last game with the New England Patriots. And I feel like if he is leaving, he's gonna want to go out on top. So I'll take the Pats.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Pats too.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
How about that? All right.
A 4-12 Patriots clean sweep in Week 18.
Well, it is the Jets they're playing
It
too.
is the Jets.
Um, all right. Moving on to the next game. Buccaneers and Panthers at Bank of America Stadium. You know what? M&T Bank is the 3rd best bank. Bank of America ranks number 2. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding.
I do like that stadium with the skyline.
I do too.
I do too. But the Ravens can keep their ticket prices above 45 cents. So I'll put them number 2. Yeah, last game of the year for us. We know that for sure because we're eliminated. The Bears have locked themselves into the number 1 pick. You're welcome, Chicago. You helped us get a franchise-changing piece. Now, hopefully we can help you do the same. Hopefully Bryce Young is a good game. That's really all I care about. I did see the injury report. Let me just see. Marquise Haynes, edge rusher, is out. Eddie Pinheiro, our kicker, and O-lineman Cade Mays are doubtful, which means I believe he was a former Steeler. Matthew Wright is in line to be our kicker.
Kicker, yeah.
Apparently, he's looked good in practice, so cool, I guess.
He was pretty good for the Steelers. He was.
Okay, I'll take it. And then J.C. Horn's questionable. He was out last week. He may probably just be out again. And Troy Hill's good to go. Corner, Troy Hill. That doesn't matter. I'm picking Tampa Bay, though. They beat us in a close 3-point game when we played them down in Florida earlier in the year. And I think it could be another close game. The Buccaneers and Panthers have some interesting battles. They've played each other close over the years, but when it comes down to it, I think the Bucks are going to get the win just because, last week they had a chance to get a win in. They could have won the division with a win last week, and they didn't. I don't think they're going to screw it up again. I think they're going to do the right thing this time and get that win and clinch the division, which is honestly what I want. I would much rather see the Buccaneers win the division than the Saints and the Falcons. So, very small part of me is praying for a Tampa Bay win for them, but if we win, it would be cool. But I got the Bucks, so
Yeah, I have the Bucks too. I just think they need this win like real bad, but it would be very funny if they lost. But I don't think they're going to. Give me the Bucks.
I agree with everything there. The Bucks, I think, especially Baker Mayfield wants this pretty badly. Because there's no way he's not hearing the talk about how um positively his season is being perceived, and I really think he wants to just tie a ribbon on it and lead them to the playoffs. Because if not, there's a little bit of doubt. Well, that was great, but could you still find someone better? But if he leads them to the playoffs, they've got to be thinking, all right, well, let's run it back with him. And I know he wants that. He deserves it. And I trust them more than I trust the Panthers, obviously. So I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers.
yeah, yeah. I fully expected you guys to pick them, and I want to say one thing because Luke talked about Baker. I am rooting for Baker. I have rooted for Baker since he was in Cleveland. He stuck the flag in the middle of Ohio State's field in college. I've forgiven him since then. I've rooted for him in the NFL. Yes, I know. Nick Bosa got him back for that. Um, I've rooted for him since he was in Cleveland. I was really happy when the Panthers got him. I wanted him to work out better here. It wasn't the case, but I've rooted for him since. Once a Panther, always a Panther. So, yeah, it would make my heart really happy for him if he gets this division title. Maybe even gets comeback player of the year. We'll see. But yeah. Last 1 p.m. game, we have the Browns and the Bengals. So, two back. Well, no, I guess Jake Browning is going to be playing for this game, but I think it is Jeff Driscoll that is starting for Cleveland. They are resting Joe Flacco this week.
And Joe Flacco, as good as he has been playing, is probably like, thank God. He's like, I could use a nap, thanks. So, um, I can start off. I think I'm gonna pick the Bengals. Um, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the Browns have clinched. The Ravens have clinched the 1 seed. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Bengals. Um, because Jamar Chase is still. I mean, he's locked up in an extension, obviously, but he wants to put every polishing yard on that season. And T. Higgins might be playing a little bit angry because he knows that Jamar Chase is going to get all that money. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts where there shouldn't be. So I think the Bengals are going to go out and just take this game, and the Browns are going to be like, all right, fine, you can have it.
That's fair.
Dante?
I'm gonna take the Bengals too. Just I don't really care about this game, to be honest. So
Yeah, I
so
the
I'm
more
just
the more I thought about this game, I was like, the most random game this week.
yeah, I'm just saying go Bengals because you guys know how I feel about the Browns.
Yeah, big Browns guy.
I was thinking about taking the Browns because it would be funny if Stefanski can get a win with a fifth different quarterback this year, but I'm going to take the Bengals. It's just the easy pick here. I don't know how Jeff Driscoll is going to look against the Bengals. I feel like it would be nice for Cincy to end their year on a strong note. Um, but yeah, I think Cleveland will be fine no matter what. So yeah, give me the Bengals here. Moving on to the 4 o'clock p.m. slate, 4:25 p.m. slate. Every game this week, so 4:25 Eastern. We have a rivalry game to start it off. Bears and Packers in Lambeau. Well, not really a rivalry. You can cue that meme. This is not a rivalry. They always, finish the rest. But
They always beat us in some.
yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for that reason, Packers. I hope Justin Fields has a great game. And if he gets a win, I will be ecstatic for him. But I'm going with history here. Green Bay, especially because they get in with a win. I forgot to make that known. Green Bay wins and they're in the playoffs, I believe.
Yep.
So
It's a win and in. It is. And that's
they're
why I'm picking the Packers too. Matt LaFleur is going to have this team ready. And Jordan Love has looked. How many touchdowns does he have this year? Let me
I
see.
don't know, but I was gonna say that I'm talking a lot about Justin Fields. Jordan Love has looked great lately.
Jordan Love is, geez, why is Jordan Love not up for MVP?
How
He's
many touchdowns?
30 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Jeez.
Hello? I
That's a
mean,
good season.
that's a
People are
very good
talking
season.
about it. Wow.
Almost 4,000 yards. Wow. Why is he not in the conversation? Anyway, yeah. Jordan Love and the Packers are going to win this one.
I'm inclined to agree. Yeah. It'd be really cool if the Bears could pull this off. It'd be cool for Justin Fields. It would create a really, really interesting conversation where there already is an interesting conversation. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. The Packers, it's been a really up and down season for them. Some weeks it feels like they've fully arrived. The next week it feels like they have so many issues. I think they really just want to put some of that behind them and make the playoffs. So the going into the offseason, there are more answers than there are questions.
You going with Green Bay, Luke?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Another divisional game. Well, what am I saying? They're all divisional games this week, Adam. Cowboys and Commanders in I dropped a pen. In Washington. Ron Rivera's last game, probably.
Hmm.
There's GOAT, Riverboat Ron. Dallas. Why am I stalling? This is like the easiest pick ever. This might be the most irrelevant game of the week, but actually not, because if the Cowboys win, they do win the NFC East. They do control their own destiny. So,
Hmm.
um, this should not be very hard for them to control their own destiny here. Yeah, Cowboys.
Washington is just lucky this isn't in Dallas.
True. True that.
But yes, Cowboys very easily.
Dante?
Cowboys. Yeah.
I saw you were quiet there. I was thinking, is he thinking about picking the Commanders?
No, I was making sure the whole playoff thing is all set. So,
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I read that game, you could have put in Cowboys for all of us. I mean, that was
I
pretty
did.
predictable.
I actually
So,
did.
all right, Broncos and Raiders in Las Vegas. Jared Stidham revenge game, possibly, as a member of the Broncos. I guess this one does matter because it could affect the Pittsburgh Steelers. So,
Potentially, if we don't win. But
yeah. What are we thinking?
I'm
This is kind of a you can go either way with this one, I feel like.
You could.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think Antonio Pierce, he's making his case to secure that head coaching job in Vegas, and he's gonna solidify it with this game.
Luke?
So am I. I agree with Antonio Pierce that part of it. I'm not sure he's going to solidify it because I'm not sure. I'll be the no fun opinion. I'm not sure the job really should be his because it always happens with these interim head coaches that once you fire someone, there's immediate culture change. It's always positive, and the guys are always ready to run through a brick wall for whoever's up next in line 99% of the time. And maybe he should get the job because the Raiders can learn from themselves hiring Josh McDaniels. No offense, Adam, but the Panthers hiring Frank Reich. The
All
grass
right.
is always greener than an interim head coach, but I'm just not sure that this time that's the case, especially if they do the hiring process intelligently. But I do think that they're going to be playing as if it is, and I think for that reason they're going to get Antonio Pierce one more win, one more notch on his belt, especially against the Broncos, a bitter division rival. And we already saw that the Raiders are capable of beating anybody they don't like because they beat the Chiefs. So I don't trust Jared Stidham. Obviously, I know very firsthand what he is and what he isn't. Apparently, Sean Payton doesn't, but I will take. I will find joy in the Raiders winning this game.
We are clean sweeping it. I'm going the Raiders as well. I hope Antonio Pierce gets the job. If not, it is what it is. I just hope they, I guess, like Luke just said, don't hire someone like Josh McDaniels. Hire someone with a brain. Well, Josh McDaniels has a brain, but he's not
Not
the
a very big one.
NFL coordinator. So, yeah, hire someone that can get the job done if it's not Pierce, but I really hope it is Pierce. I I'm not gonna say I'm tired of interims not getting the promotion or getting the job in the NFL because I know the history behind it not working out, but I think one of these days someone should get a chance. And I think Pierce should get a chance. So yeah. Well, give me the Raiders in this one to start. So moving on. Eagles and Giants in New York. These two played in Philly on Christmas. It was a very interesting game. New York almost won that. I believe the Eagles still have a chance at the division. Cowboys would have to lose, which is darn near impossible at this point. But what do we think about the Eagles in this game?
I think this is their perfect get back on track game. Um, it's a rival they know well, and I think they're going to take care of business. Though this game, the game that they played before a couple weeks ago, was close. I think that was Christmas night,
It
but
was, yes.
and
Yeah, that was really close, actually.
They
came
were
in,
the sorry to interrupt you, Dante. They were the middle game of the day after Raiders and Chiefs and right before Ravens Niners.
Mhm.
So
But yeah, I'm going Eagles.
I will double down on that and I will go Philly as well. I just think they need this win, put themselves in the best possible playoff chance. I mean, they're probably not going to win the division. That's probably going to go to the Cowboys at this point, but Philly wants to lock up that 5 seed if they can do it. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going Philly as well. The Giants don't really have the firepower to play spoiler here. And the Eagles are too good of a team to make this many mistakes. It's been rough for them lately, but I don't think that that's going to uh, completely affect them this game. I think they'll be fine.
all right, guys, it's been a while since we've disagreed, but I don't think it's going to happen this game. I mean, it could. We have the Seahawks and Cardinals in Arizona. Now we know what Arizona was able to do last week. They got a huge win in Philly. I mean, they're playing Seattle. Seahawks playoff chances on the line. You know what? This is my upset of the week. I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. I think they are going to. I know you guys are thinking, like, oh, he's so dumb for doing this. I think Arizona is going to play spoiler and end the Seahawks' chances at a playoff spot. Why not, right?
I agree.
Okay. All right.
The way they played against the Eagles last week, it's hard not to pick them. You know?
You also don't want me to get that upset alone.
No, I mean you convinced me. I was for sure riding Seahawks here, but that was like I started thinking about it.
Yeah, I was about to for sure. Then I thought about that Philly game. I'm like, you know what? I do need an upset this week still. Why not? All right, Luke.
You know what? I don't need an upset this week, and I will gladly take this.
Yeah,
Give me the Seahawks.
That's fair.
very fair.
Yeah, I should mention though, Jonathan Gannon, he's done an impressive job. He's gotten them ready to play multiple times against really good opponents. But not every time, and not this time. So I will take this one. Give me the Seahawks.
Hey, Dante and Luke got to pick the Cardinals earlier this year. Upset. Let
Yep.
Dante and I pick them now. Why not?
Well, who's the common denominator and all that? Me. And
Well, yeah.
hopefully I'm not wrong twice.
Hey, see, hey, you might not be wrong. I have a little more faith in them in this game than I did back then. So,
Yeah, I do too.
well, clearly I do because I'm picking them. So, all right. Rams and 49ers. This is now, in my opinion, this is the quarterback battle I am most looking forward to this week. It is the battle of the backups. Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold.
That is
Legend.
must-watch TV.
I'm actually excited for that game. I
Can't
really
wait
am.
to miss this game.
Ooh, this will be interesting. Sam Darnold against
I know
Carson.
who I'm picking.
Go ahead, Luke.
Give me the 49ers. In the preseason, Kyle Shanahan couldn't shut up about how much he loved Sam Darnold. He was like, "This guy is one of the best guys I've ever seen play," and I just want to see how much truth there is to that, how much he really works for them. And I like Carson Wentz. He's a good guy, but I don't know if I trust him to get everybody the ball. Like I trust maybe Sam Darnold to work in an offense like that, and we'll see. This is really gonna be a coach off. That's what I'm excited for. Uh, whose system is more plug in any guy and go? Is it Sean McVay or is it Kyle Shanahan? This should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. But give me the 49ers.
I was gonna pick the Rams if I don't know. Yeah, I'm going Niners, but I was gonna pick the Rams with something.
It might be the Rams, but one other thing is that the Rams have been in a lot of shootouts. The 49ers don't allow a lot of shootouts.
True.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
Luke, you've convinced me I'm going 49ers and
did I switch it up? The Rams have been in a lot of shootouts. I don't know if I switched that up.
Yeah, no, you
yeah.
had it. You had it right.
Okay. Yeah, 49ers, yeah. I just think it's more intriguing. Sam Darnold. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yes, of course. All right. Final 4 p.m. game of the year for regular season. Chiefs and Chargers in LA.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
All
It'd
right.
be fun. It'd be funny. It would be funny.
It would be funny. It would be so
Hilarious.
funny.
It would
But
be so funny. But it's not this game.
I heard there was a scenario last week where, say, the Chiefs had lost to the Bengals. If they would have lost this week, they could have missed the playoffs. How funny would that have been?
imagine if the Chiefs
Would've been
missed
great.
the playoffs.
The NFL would just be so upset because they couldn't mark it off that. And Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
I'd be fine with it though.
Yeah, I would.
Chris Collinsworth would cry himself to sleep every night.
Yeah.
Now here's a guy in Patrick Mahomes who isn't in the playoffs. Well, he will be. So
Wouldn't have a
Starts
job.
crying in the booth.
Holdsworth wouldn't have a job if Mahomes didn't.
Yeah. Mhm.
all right, boys. All right. Biggest game of the week. Bills and Dolphins, Sunday night football.
I know who I'm picking.
I don't. So I want to see who you guys pick.
I don't know who I'm picking either. Luke, you go first.
Okay, Luke started off.
I'm picking the Bills.
I was gonna say that was fairly obvious.
If these teams were fully healthy, I would have my high IQ, I know my division reasons, but I don't want to trip over my own feet. So I'll just reference that the Dolphins are really hurt at a really, really bad time. Lucky for them, they made the playoffs already. They could even be resting. I don't know if they are. Probably not.
Yeah,
But
because if they win, they're the 2 seed, and if they lose, they're the 6. So it's real weird. But
yeah, the AFC there could be a lot of movement. But I'll just use the fact that they are really banged up.
yeah. Adam, you know?
I feel like I do, but I'm still not 100% sure. But if you
No,
don't,
because
if
it's down in
Dante,
Miami in the warm weather.
Dante, if you don't know, I'll just say it.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna go Bills. I'm really rooting for the Dolphins though. Especially
Yeah.
if the Titans can't get it done against Jacksonville.
If I had to pick, yeah.
So
All right, you know what? I feel like someone has to choose them. I'm going Miami.
nice.
We
Nice.
can't clean sweep this game. I was thinking of going Bills, but the other day I told myself, you know what, go Miami no matter what.
Yeah.
Go Miami. Why not, right?
You're like draft day, you wrote yourself a note, Miami no matter what.
Yes. Yes, Vontae Mack no matter what. Because why not? You know, maybe they'll actually get the job done and win that division and be a big threat for the Super Bowl.
I think McDaniel was gonna have him prepared. I really do.
He will.
But
I
anyway,
think,
go on.
I mean, the Bills have been good, but I think as long as they have Tua and Tyreek, anything can happen.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right. How about we
Playing?
make a bonus pick
Is
real quick?
Tyreek playing? Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, he should be.
Tyreek Hill, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be.
Even though his house caught on fire.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say as long as he's not too preoccupied with that, but I
Yeah.
think it's
I was gonna say, Dante, before you reveal that playoff thing, let's make a bonus pick. College football playoff national championship is Monday night. We have Washington, number 2 in the country, playing Michigan, unfortunately, number 1 in the country. Now, whether you think about it this way or not, in the future, this is considered a Big Ten battle. You do have Washington, I guess, as of now, the Pac-12, Washington. Their QB, Michael Penix Jr., an Indiana Hoosiers legend. So that affects the Big Ten in that way, too. Who do you guys think will win?
first of all, I'm assuming we all want Michigan to lose.
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
Okay. With that being said, I'm picking Michigan. As much as it pains me to say, I think this is their year. I think Harbaugh goes out with a win.
Cool.
That's also coming from a place I just don't know much about Washington. So
Yeah. Give me the Huskies, baby. Let's go. Michael Penix is that guy. Mine was better than JJ McCarthy. Don't at me.
oh yeah. I mean I agree with that. You very well may be right. I hope you're right.
The one difference maker in this game is going to be Blake Corum. That guy's just unreal. That guy is so good. He reminds me of Jalen Warren. I'll say it.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Ready for my pick?
Yep. No, put that down. I'm crossing that out.
Just kidding.
Let's go. Go
I had
Huskies.
to pull you. I had to keep you all on your toes. I'm going to Washington, too. I really think
will-
they can get the job done.
I will hate
Oh.
being right about this.
Yeah, you're probably going to be right, Luke, unfortunately. I will say, regardless of who wins, I think Harbaugh's on his way out after this game. I do.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on in the NFL right now. That
I'm very confident that he's a Charger.
Really?
Yeah, there's way too much smoke around it for that not to be fire. I think that job's probably pretty appealing in LA, established quarterback. I would say Harbaugh's as good as gone, especially if they win this game.
It's fair.
all
Any-
right. Well, Dante, the moment we've been waiting for. What do our playoff pictures look like according to ESPN playoff predictor?
Okay. Do you want me to start with NFC or AFC? I think we'll start with NFC since that's a little less drama filled. And I'll start with Adams. Adam.
Well, hold on, wait. I'm gonna write this down, so maybe I could post it on our Instagram or something.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a minute to get ready.
Yep. I'll do Adam. I'll do Luke's, then I'll do mine.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Adam. At the 7th seed, you have the Los Angeles Rams.
All right.
At the
Have
6th,
have they clinched?
yeah,
Yeah.
they clinched.
Okay.
Adam, at the 6th seed, you have Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
At the 5 seed, you have the Eagles. 4 seed, you have the Bucks. 3 seed, Lions. 2 seed, Dallas, and number 1, San Fran.
Okay. I should write in Baltimore and San Fran at the top, no matter what, because they've clinched their spots.
Yep.
So, for everybody.
All right. Do you want your AFC now?
Yeah, sure.
AFC, 7th seed, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nice.
Let's go. At the 6th seed, you have the Houston Texans.
Okay.
Number 5 seed, you have the Cleveland Browns. 4, you have Jacksonville. 3, you have Kansas City. 2, you have Miami. And 1, you have Baltimore. And dare I say, Adam, you have the Buffalo Bills missing the playoffs.
That's what I'm hoping for, man. Praying for it.
All right, Luke. 7 seed in the NFC, you have the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
6th seed, you have the Packers. 5th seed, Adam, am I going too fast or are you good?
No, you got it. You got it.
5th seed, you have the Eagles. 4th
Hmm.
seed, you have the Bucks. Then 3 Detroit, then 2 Dallas, and 1 San Fran.
So his NFC is the same as mine.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, Luke, your 7th seed in the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go. 6th seed in the AFC, Miami. Number 5,
Yeah, I know what that means.
Cleveland. Number 4, Houston. Number,
Uh-huh.
number 3, Kansas City. Number 2, Buffalo. And number 1,
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
And now for mine.
That means Steelers and Bills. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah,
And I would have Steelers Dolphins. Okay.
yeah.
Go
And
for it.
for my NFC, I had the Rams in the 7, Green Bay in the 6. Wait, hold on. Let me see if they're the same. Yeah, they're the same all around. So I have the same
Philly,
NFC as you guys. So
Philly 5, Tampa 4,
Detroit
Detroit.
3,
Dallas.
Dallas 2, San Fran 1.
Okay.
And for my AFC, in the 7th seed, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So
In
we
the
all have Pittsburgh. Cool.
yep. In the 6th seed, I have Miami. In the 5th seed, I have Cleveland. In the 4th seed, I have the Colts.
Ooh.
In the 3rd seed, I have Kansas City, 2 Buffalo, and 1 Baltimore. So I'll run through our playoff matchups real quick. In our AFC playoff matchups, in Adam's eyes, will be Pittsburgh at Miami, Houston at Kansas City, Cleveland at Jacksonville. In his NFC matchups, the Rams at Dallas, Green Bay at Detroit, and Philly at Tampa Bay. Luke's matchups.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Green Bay at Detroit and Philly at Tampa.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you just read the AFC because they're all going to be the same.
No, that's right. That's right. Luke's AFC matchups. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Miami at Kansas City.
Ooh.
I'd like to see that.
And Cleveland at Houston. And mine, Pittsburgh at Buffalo, Miami at Kansas City, and Cleveland at Indy. So those are our playoff matchups. That's what we're thinking. So yeah, that was fun. I'm glad I did that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that too. I somehow hope we're wrong because I would really like to see a Rams-Lions matchup.
Yeah. Not that could happen though.
Could happen. That's the only thing, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem likely at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. If the Rams beat the Niners, then we'll have Rams Lions.
That could happen.
Which could happen. So,
Yeah, it's not impossible.
anyway, I think that does it.
I think that does it too. Yeah. All right.
Good episode, fellas. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Always. We'll be back for wild card round predictions.
Will we be in it? I'm so nervous. We shall see.
We'll find out, man.
All right. I guess that does it.
Yep.
Your hosts, Adam.
Dante.
And Luke.
We'll catch y'all next week for the playoffs. See you then.
Go Steelers.